Nico Dwyer back for the 10th inning here with another edition of This Day in Sports History. In yesterday's episode, we had Cristiano Ronaldo in 2008 win his first Ballon d'Or and Lionel Messi in 2019 win his sixth and most recent Ballon d'Or. We do have one Ballon d'Or to get into today, not from Ronaldo or from Messi, but we also have an MVP to talk about and some Heismans to get into. So if y'all enjoy this video, leave a like on it. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Let's get to it. This Day in Sports History. And we will start off today in 1901 in Major League Baseball, and the Milwaukee Brewers franchise would be officially dropped from the American League and replaced by the St. Louis Browns, later to become in 1954 the Baltimore Orioles. Move up 20 years now to 1921 and we go to the Grey Cup. And the Toronto Argonauts would claim their second championship, defeating the Edmonton Eskimos in shutout fashion 23-0. Stay at the Grey Cup, this time in 1932, the Hamilton Tigers would defeat the Regina Roughriders 25-6 to claim their fifth championship. We have three Heismans in a row to get into. Let's start in 1944, when Les Horvath, quarterback for The Ohio State University, would win the Heisman, 924 passing yards on the season, 12 touchdowns. And Horvath would finish with 412 total points in the voting to second place's 287. 1 year later in 1945, we have another Heisman. The man who finished third place in the previous year's voting would win it this season when Doc Blanchard, running back for Army, would win it with 722 rushing yards, 16 touchdowns on the ground, 166 receiving yards, and 1 touchdown through the air for a total of 860 points to second place's 638 points. And 1 year later, we stay with that Heisman in 1946, and after coming in second place for 2 consecutive seasons, this man would finally win the Heisman, another Army running back, Glenn Davis. Davis on the season, 712 rushing yards, 7 touchdowns, 356 receiving yards, 6 touchdowns, for a total of 13 touchdowns. He would win it with 792 points to second place's 435. Staying in college football, not at the Heisman though, in 1949 at the Iron Bowl, Auburn would defeat Alabama 14-13 in Birmingham. This would be their 8th of 37 Iron Bowl victories. Move to the MLB now in 1955, and Yogi Berra, with a .272 batting average, 27 home runs, 108 RBIs on the season, would be named American League MVP for his third award, also winning in 1951 and 1954. So this would also be back-to-back MVPs for the Yankees catcher. From baseball, we go to the Olympics in 1956, and the Australian 4x200 meter freestyle relay team would swim a world record 8 minutes 23.6 seconds to take the gold medal, and this would be Murray Rose's second of 3 gold medals at those games. Back to the Heisman though in 1957, running back out of Texas A&M, John Crow would win with 562 rushing yards, 6 touchdowns on the season, and he would collect 1,183 points, better than second place's 693. We go from the Heisman to the Iron Bowl in 1966, and Alabama would defeat Auburn in shutout fashion 31-0 to win their 16th of 47 Iron Bowls. Move back to Major League Baseball in 1968, and we have one of the biggest rule changes in memory, honestly, in baseball, as the Rules Committee would adopt a series of changes designed to increase the amount of offensive run production. So it would decrease the strike zone and lower the height of the pitcher's mound from 15 inches to 10 inches. This was after the year of the pitcher in 1968. Bob Gibson, maybe one of the best, if not the best, pitching season of all time, 1.12 ERA. They knew they had to make a change, and they did, and for the most part, those changes were successful for getting offensive run production. But for people who like offense, the 1972 Grey Cup may not have been your venue to watch, as we had the Hamilton Tiger Cats defeat the Saskatchewan Roughriders 13-10. And with this victory, the Tiger Cats would become the first team in modern era CFL to win the Grey Cup at their home stadium. Go back to the Heisman in 1974, and running back out of The Ohio State University, Archie Griffin will win for his first time with 1,695 rushing yards, 12 touchdowns, for a total of 1,920 points. Best in second place is 819. 5 years later, in 1979, we have the Heisman once again. Another running back, this time out of University of Southern California or USC, Charles White, would gain 2,050 yards on the season, 19 touchdowns, for a total of 1,695 points. Best in second place is 773. From the Heisman, we go right back to the Iron Bowl. In 1983, and Auburn would defeat Alabama 23-20 to claim their 19th of 37 Iron Bowl victories. We get to the final Heisman of the day in 1988, and this is probably the best season in college football history, not just from a running back, but definitely from a running back. Barry Sanders from Oklahoma State University, 2,628 rushing yards on the season, 37 touchdowns, to go along with 1 punt return touchdown, 1 kick return touchdown, for 39 total touchdowns, would win the Heisman, 1,878 points, best in second place is 912. So we get off of college football for just a little bit, go over to tennis in 1989, and in the ATP Masters Grand Prix, Stefan Edberg would win his first and only title after a 4-6, 7-6, 6-3, 6-1 victory in 4 sets over defending champion Boris Becker. 5 years later, we go back to college football. This time, we have some championship games for you. In 1994, at the 3rd edition of the SEC Championship game, number 6 ranked Florida would defeat number 3 Alabama 24-23, and Florida's defensive tackle Ellis Johnson would win game MVP. 1 year later, back to the Davis Cup in 1995, and Pete Sampras would defeat Yevgeny Kavelnikov 6-2, 6-4, 7-6 to give the USA a 3-1 lead over Russia. It would end up being 3-2, but that would be enough for the USA to win their record 31st title out of 32. Back to the championship games now in 2005, we have 3 to get into. Let's start with the SEC Championship game, as number 13 Georgia would defeat number 3 LSU 34-14. And Bulldogs quarterback DJ Shockley would win MVP. Then in the first edition of the ACC Championship game, number 22 Florida State would upset number 5 Virginia Tech 27-22 with wide receiver Willie Reed getting MVP honors. Finally in 2005, with maybe one of the biggest blowouts in championship game history, number 2 Texas would defeat Colorado 70-3. But we go from that blowout to the 2006 Davis Cup, and Marat Safin would defeat Jose Acasuso 6-3, 3-6, 6-3, 7-6 in 4 sets to clinch the 3-2 victory for Russia, give them their second of 2 Davis Cup titles. Move up to 2011, and we have 2 college football championship games to get into. Start in the SEC, and the number 1 ranked LSU would defeat number 16 Georgia 42-10, and safety Tyrann Mathieu of LSU would be named MVP. And finally, in the ACC Championship game, the number 21 ranked Clemson would defeat number 5 Virginia Tech 38-10. Taj Boyd would be named MVP. And we end today's video off in 2018 in football with a Ballon d'Or, and this would be the first time since 2007 that either Lionel Messi or Cristiano Ronaldo would not win the award, and Real Madrid midfielder Luka Modric would win his first. So there you go, that's what happened on this day in sports history. If I left anything out, I do apologize, but I'll see everybody tomorrow for Nick Dwyer and the 10th inning.